Hello, everybody. Welcome to English Digest. I'm Tom.
I'm Stephanie.
And today we're still in Phoenix, Arizona, and we've also tuned into TLC, the Travel and Living channel, to watch Property Wars. And we're talking about one particular episode in which buyers push their luck. They're trying to make bids on various properties and real estate in the Phoenix, Arizona area, but there's a catch. They're not allowed to see the inside of the house. They have to bid on it by looking at it from the outside.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. That's the big gamble. You can see something from the outside, and then the inside could be a mess, a disaster. So it's kind of interesting how they do this. Now, in our last program, we talked about Doug, who had some secret information, the inside scoop. And he had talked to neighbors, which is the smartest thing to do. Never buy something until you talk to the neighbors. That's crazy if you don't.
I wonder why the other people didn't talk to the neighbors. They should have thought of that.
Maybe they got there too late. I don't know. But he had gone earlier to talk to the neighbors to get some information. And he had heard they'd done remodeling, which is a good thing, especially if you're buying a house that's 20, 30 years old. You hope that it's been remodeled and they've put in new things. So he had that information. He bid and he won. So his gamble paid off. We're going to talk about what it looks like inside in this particular program. But as we always do, we got to read through it first. So stay tuned. Doug's gamble pays off. Inside, the house is in perfect condition. The walls have fresh paint, there are new carpets and kitchen appliances, and the master bathroom is fitted with high-end fixtures. As an added bonus, the yard is professionally landscaped with green grass, a rare sight in dry, dusty Arizona. After his tour, Doug's projected profit of $8,000 quickly shoots up to $24,000, making this property a big win. Unfortunately, things haven't worked out quite so well for local buyer John Ray. John has his eye on a 3-bedroom, 1,200-square-foot fixer-upper with a pool. Its low opening bid could make him a huge profit if the house can be renovated cheaply. The others, nervous about the amount of work the house might need, withdraw from the auction one by one. John wins the house for only $67,100, but as soon as he steps inside, he knows he's in trouble. The walls need new drywall, the kitchen needs to be entirely remodeled, and an ancient air conditioning system needs to be replaced. Additionally, the pool is empty, meaning it probably has a leak. What's worse, the wall surrounding the house is crumbling into pieces. John's ideal projected profit of $12,900 has now reached a loss of nearly $8,000. Meanwhile, LA business partners Ed and Steve managed to break into the Phoenix market by winning their first property with a bid of $87,800. They go way over budget, but a new air conditioning system and relatively minor repairs mean they're pleased with their purchase. Altogether, their projected profit climbs to $8,500. To see more dramatic bets like these, check out Property Wars on TLC now.
Okay, everybody, welcome back. It's time now for us to talk about the contents of today's lesson. Remember, we're talking about a local property buyer or bidder by the name of Doug Hopkins. And last time we were talking about him bidding on a house, and he won the auction, and it turned out to be a good deal because it was in pretty good shape. There had been some remodeling, so he actually made some money in that. I guess he'll make the money later on when he resells it.
Yeah, when he flips it, that's what we call flipping. If you buy a house and you don't mean to keep it, and you just repair it if it needs some repairs, and then you sell it again quickly, it's called flipping.
Okay, well, I didn't know that myself.
Oh, it's very popular.
Never really had enough money to buy a house like that. But in
My
any any case.
Yeah, my sister does it with her husband.
Okay, great. I guess they got some money to work with there.
Yeah.
But in any case, Doug's gamble pays off. That was his gamble, okay? Again, the special conditions for this auction is you can't see the inside of the house, but Doug had some special information. So he thought, well, it's probably a pretty good house, so I'm going to go ahead and bid higher. He won the auction, so he was kind of gambling there, but the gamble pays off. If something pays off, that means it's successful. You get more money in the end than you spent at the beginning.
Yeah, that's a great thing for him. So work pays off in college when you graduate and get a good job. So you want whatever effort you make to pay off. And his gamble paid off. Now, if something's a perfect condition, that's the shape it's in. So he didn't have to do much to the house at all. And it goes on to describe how the walls even have fresh paint, which is great. There are new carpets and kitchen appliances, and the master bathroom is fitted with high-end fixtures. The master bathroom is usually the bathroom connected to the master bedroom, which is the bedroom that, mom and dad sleep in, a couple sleep in. Now, if you're talking about appliances, and usually we use this with kitchen appliances, you're talking about the devices or equipment that you have that perform a specific task. For example, the refrigerator, the dishwasher, the washing machine and dryer would not be kitchen appliances, but they're appliances that you need when you live in a house. So he got lucky. He had all of this new stuff already in the house. Now, the master bedroom has high-end fixtures. When you say something is fitted with something, that's what's been put into the house. So you can use low-end things and high-end. Low-end would be more inexpensive, and high-end is very expensive. A fixture could be like a faucet, how you turn the faucet on. It could be the handles on the door. Those are little fixtures.
The shower head, etc., the little railings next to the bathtub, those are all bathroom fixtures, and they're high-end, so maybe they're really highly polished copper or brass or something like that, so they're very valuable. And as an added bonus, an extra bonus that he gets, the yard is professionally landscaped with green grass, which is a rare sight in dry, dusty Arizona.
Yeah.
Basically, Phoenix, Arizona is in the middle of a desert. They built this city in the middle of a desert. So you usually don't see green grass there. You see
Hold on. In my neighborhood, almost every house has lawn. So it depends on where you are. If you buy a smaller house, people have rock yards. My mom thought it looked dry and hot, so we have green grass.
Okay, well, having green grass would probably cost a lot in water and things like that.
Gotta pay for the water, yeah.
Indeed, and it's probably very arid there. Probably not a lot of water, so yeah, you'd have to pay a high price for that. But again, this is a yard that's professionally landscaped. It's got bushes and gardens and stuff like that. Very well maintained, trimmed and stuff like that. It's got green grass, the green grass of home.
Thank you.
Sorry, I can't resist bursting into song there. But this is a rare sight in Arizona, which is dry and dusty, which means there's a lot of dust on everything. So do you have to do a lot of dusting with rags on?
Sure.
Wipe the dust off of
we get a lot
furniture
of dust.
and stuff?
Yeah, it's very dry.
Lots of dust there. And after his tour, Doug's projected profit of $8,000 quickly shoots up to $24,000.
Wow.
Making this property a big win. We're talking about his tour. It does not mean he's going to see the Grand Canyon or something, or to visit the Navajo reservation and take some pictures, buy some postcards and stuff like that. No, it means he's just kind of inspecting the house, walking through. Maybe he's got a clipboard. He's taking notes and stuff like that. And he realizes, wow, this was a steal. I got a great deal on this house. It's a good thing I talked to the neighbors first, and they gave me that inside information.
Yeah, he really did well, didn't he? Made a lot more profit on that house that he put the bid on. Now, let's move on to the next paragraph. It says, unfortunately, things haven't worked out quite so well for local buyer John Ray. If you're a local anything, it means that's the area you're from. So these other guys have come in from other states or cities, but John lives right there in Phoenix. He's a local buyer. Unfortunately means, sadly, it didn't go as well as they wanted it to. I just wrote a text to somebody and I said, unfortunately, I'm busy next week. So you feel bad, but, it just happens that things don't work out. So he didn't have any luck there, and things didn't work out for John Ray. But John has his eye on a 3-bedroom, 1,200 square foot fixer-upper with a pool. That's how we're describing this house. If you have your eye on something, you're interested in it. Maybe you're waiting for the price to go down on something. I've had my eye on this really cool computer for a while, hoping that it would go on sale. So if you have your eye on something, you're checking it out. It doesn't always have to be something you want to buy. You could have your eye on, I don't know.
A girl.
A girl.
That means you're paying attention to that thing. You're interested in that thing.
You're watching what's going on with it. You're kind of, monitoring the progress. Yeah.
Exactly. And so John has his eye on a 3-bedroom fixer-upper with a pool. If it's a fixer-upper, that means it's kind of run down. It's kind of broken. You can tell, and they're not trying to hide that. They probably know, yes, this is kind of a house that belongs in the poor part of town here. It's a fixer-upper. Every once in a while, of course, people buy fixer-uppers because they can get it for a cheap price, and then they can build it up the way they want it.
Yeah, especially if the husband or wife has construction skills, and you're able to do the work yourself, then it's okay. Fixer-upper, definitely, you know that it's not going to look good inside, but, I think he got more than he bargained for. He knew he'd have to do some work on it to get it into shape, but boy, he didn't know it was going to be this bad. It's got a pool. Before you start thinking, it's got a pool, everybody must be rich to have a pool. Almost everyone has a pool in Phoenix, Arizona. It's so hot. My house doesn't have a pool because my mom was afraid that a kid would drown in the pool. There are a lot of actually more drownings than you'd think of little kids. But it's law that you have to put a fence around your pool now.
Wow.
Yeah.
How can you dive into a pool if there's a fence there? That would hurt, wouldn't it?
Gotta open the gate first.
I wouldn't want to have a pool because it would probably attract migrating geese, and I don't want those little devils quacking all night in the pool. But in any case, that brings us to the halfway point in today's lesson. Let's say we take a little bit of a break right now and listen to our Chinese teacher.Hi
everyone, my name is Jenny. 今天来继续看第6单元。好，主要呢是要介绍 TLC 频道上的一个新节目。这个节目叫做抢标房地产，英文是 Property Wars。不过呢，我们在上一次就提到，这边有一位闯荡20年的个中好手叫 Dog 他基本上呢他很会看也很会投资，所以说他这一次就赢了。为什么？我们来看一下这一篇的内容。他获得的回报，因为这个房子屋况非常的好， in perfect condition。 好，这个就是表示屋况完美。他提到说他的主浴室他配有高档的装置。好，看到这个地方他提到 The master bathroom is fitted with high-end fixtures。 这个 high-end 这样子的复合形容词其实还蛮常用的。 high-end 的意思就是高档的，当然相对的就会有 low-end。 那当然他还提到外面的庭院绿地部分，这是额外的好处。好，那整个说起来，基本上 Dog 发现他投资对了，因为呢，他的利润呢从$8000飙涨到$24,000，这样一来，等于是说他真大获全胜。我们看到了这个数字$24,000后面逗点 making this property a big win。 我们知道 making 这个当然是分词，怎么说要用分词？因为结构上你不要再用连接词 and， 而是你直接把它变成一个修饰的分词片语，所以动词部分变成 making。 好，我们再来往下读，下面呢就说到，是不是大家来玩这种游戏都一 定会赚钱呢？那可不见得，因为再来这个例子，可能有一个输家了。好，他叫做 John Ray。这个 John Ray 他基本上呢看中的是一个3间卧室还有游泳池的一个代修屋。好，我们来看看这个地方有几个词汇，包括所谓的代修屋，就是 fixer upper， 这个对我们不玩房地产的人来说可能是一个新的字，不过一样的，前面提到这间房子它有3间卧室，有1200平方英尺，注意到该用的名词这里都没有复数形，因为这是复合形容词。
We're going to take a quick break. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Okay, everybody, let's continue with our lesson. Again, we're talking about property wars. And remember, Doug Hopkins was successful with a house. He got some inside information, so he got a pretty good deal there. The price shot up to $24,000, at least the profit did. But a local buyer by the name of John Ray, well, things didn't go so well for him. He did buy a fixer-upper. He knew it would need some work, but he thought that, hey, if I can renovate this house cheaply, it might be a good deal.
Yeah.
So again, this is a fixer-upper with a pool. So its low opening bid could make him a huge profit if the house can be renovated cheaply. So yeah, everybody knows it's run down. It's kind of dilapidated.
Yeah.
So everybody knows it's probably not worth much, but I guess John Ray has some experience and he looked at it and he thought, it's probably going to be possible to renovate this house rather cheaply. And renovate is similar to a word we used before, to remodel. What's the difference between remodel and renovate?
I would say they're the same thing. I use them interchangeably.
Yeah, me too. They're basically the same. To renovate actually means to restore it to its original condition or to a good state of repair, whereas remodel is more about changing it, basically. So renovating does mean you're working with something that isn't really too good to begin with.
But be careful, because if you're talking to native speakers, we might use them for the same thing. Yeah. Renovate, you're renovating anytime you're remodeling too, because you're bringing it up into modern standards.
Exactly. Yeah. So you are making some changes indeed, but I guess, again, as I said, John Ray probably has some experience, and he probably thinks that, hey, this thing probably can be renovated or fixed up rather cheaply.
Yeah.
The other bidders, are nervous about the amount of work the house might need, and as a result, they withdraw from the auction one by one. So they're all making bids on this property, but the others are kind of nervous about all the work that will be involved. Yeah, it's going to take a lot of work, and I don't think it's going to be able to renovate the place very easily. So they withdraw, which means they just no longer participate in the bidding. They back out.
Yeah. You can withdraw from a school by telling the school that you no longer want to be a student. So you can withdraw from a class just by quitting. So they withdraw from the auction one by one because they feel like it's a bad deal. And in this case, they're right. Poor John gets stuck with his house. He wins it for only $67,100. But it's a bad deal. As soon as he steps inside, he probably goes, oh no! He can see he's in trouble. He can see that he's got more than he bargained for. The walls need new drywall. That's a huge thing if it's as bad as that. How do you describe drywall?
Drywall, yeah. How do you describe drywall? Well, it's a kind of board, and you make it with plaster and wood or other material in order to form the interior walls of houses. Yeah. Basically, you're rebuilding the walls. I think the original wood is still there.
The wood's there, yeah.
But the paneling and stuff like that, the boards between the posts or whatever have to be redone. So that's drywall. And so the walls need new drywall. A major undertaking. The kitchen needs to be entirely remodeled. old. It's a disaster. And there is an ancient air conditioning system. It needs to be replaced. So it's probably an old air conditioning system that is no longer working. It probably hasn't been used in many, many years. It's rusting, and it's just not worth fixing it. Or perhaps it's obsolete. You can't get parts for it anymore. So basically, it has to be totally replaced. You got to take out the old system and put in a brand new one.
Yeah.
So it needs to be replaced. Additionally, the pool is empty, meaning it probably has a leak. Normally, swimming pools have water in them.
Yeah.
They don't drain the pools that often, I guess.
We never drain them, no.
I guess it's not a good idea to drain the pool. I'm not quite sure. But the pool is empty. That means it doesn't have any water in it. And that probably means that it has a leak. A leak is a place where liquid can escape. You might have a leak in your radiator in your car, for example, so your engine will overheat if you don't keep an eye on it. Or you could have a leak in your tires. That could be air escaping from the tire, and then the tire will go flat after a little while.
I had a leak in my apartment wall.
Oh, no.
My neighbor would do her laundry in the kitchen sink, which is weird, and then the water started leaking down a wall. That's bad.
Wow.
So, yeah, you can have leaks anywhere, actually, when something's escaping that's not supposed to. What's worse, the wall surrounding the house is crumbling into pieces. So what we do, in Arizona at least, people like to have privacy, so they build a wall around the lawn, around the yard, and the house. So this wall is crumbling, which means it's breaking into pieces. If you think about a cookie, if you take it in your hand and squeeze it, it crumbles into pieces. So it's a mess because that's expensive. And so John's ideal projected profit of $12,900 has now reached a loss of nearly $8,000. So he not only makes zero profit, he has to pay $8,000 out of his pocket to fix up this house.
Well, he probably takes it in stride. This has probably happened to him before. He's got other investments and stuff. Yeah, it's okay. I'll make money on my next auction. But he probably feels like a real sucker right now. He feels like a real chump.
Yeah.
And he feels like he's been taken to the cleaners. But in the following paragraph here, the final paragraph of today's lesson, meanwhile, we've got these LA business partners. They're from Los Angeles, California. It's Ed and Steve. They managed to break into the Phoenix market by winning their first property with a bid of $87,800 US. I've heard about this. People from LA, because LA or California is having an economic recession or something. So people from LA head out to Phoenix or to Las Vegas and try to find jobs there. And I think the local people there in Phoenix don't really like these Californicators, I guess they call them.
That's terrible.
Coming in and trying to, take up property and raise the prices and stuff like that. But these guys are from LA, and they're sick of the sunshine in Southern California, so they want to go to...
They want more sunshine in Phoenix? We get more sunshine than LA.
Yeah, or they want to get away from all those pretentious Hollywood movie stars or something like that.
Here's the deal. Yeah. To buy a house in LA market is over $1 million now. So you can't just, go and get $1 million house and flip it. So they're actually going to the Phoenix market because it's cheaper and they can afford to put some bids in. California's crazy. We're getting a lot of people from California now because people want to buy a house and have a yard and they can't afford it.
They're sick of living in apartments and hearing their neighbors pound on the floor at night, waking them up at 3 a.m. in the morning. So yeah, they want to have their own house with their own yard and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So they have managed to break into the market. If you break into a place, it can be good and bad.
Yeah.
To break into might be a criminal breaking into your house and trying to steal your computer or something like that. But in this particular case, it means that you can become a part of this market. You are active. You are a player. You're involved in this real estate market, and you've got some property, and you can start selling those properties. You've got your foot in the door.
They do, but their bid was pretty high, and they go way over budget. But a new air conditioning system and relatively minor repairs mean they're pleased with their purchase. They didn't expect to spend that much, but still, they're pleased because they didn't have to repair too much. Almost every house you buy in Arizona needs a new air conditioning system. Without air conditioning, you can't live in Arizona. So relatively means compared to other things. So they're minor repairs because, compared to, let's say, John Ray's house that he got, they don't have to do much. So relatively just means in comparison to something else. So if they're minor, they're not big. They're little repairs, and they're pleased with their purchase. So that's good news for these LA folks who are in Phoenix. Now, altogether, their projected profit climbs to $8,500. But they have to split it because there are two of them.
But it's a start, and they can use that money toward their next purchase. So they're in the market now. They've broken into the market.
Yeah.
And hey, if you like this kind of program to see more dramatic bets like these, check out Property Wars on TLC now. And if something's dramatic, it has to do with drama, but also it means it's something that is very, very exciting.
Yeah.
And it's something that you really want to see the result of. Okay, that brings us to the end of our lesson for today. Here comes our Chinese teacher.
好，我们继续来看，提到说，房地产这种抢标的过程里面有输家，也有赢家。那这一位 John Ray 他怎么一回事呢？他认为说，这个房子虽然是代修屋 fixer upper， 也就是需要花钱去整理，可是这样子做整理之后，他应该还是有很高的利润。不过事情上跟他想的不太一样，因为后面就解释了，他用了这个$67,100得到的房子呢，果然一走进去就发现不对劲了。好，怎么个不对劲呢？好，他讲了 A， 讲了 B， 讲了 C， 不过看到这里有个字 additionally， 我们知道转折词在英文里面写文章的时候非常的重要。我们如果从文章写下来，你有一个层次一个层次，一点再加一点，一定要记得把转折词写得很清楚，这样读的人才能够 follow， 才能够跟着你读。那像这个 additionally 就是一个转折词，中文当然就是另外，此外，还有什么呢？好，他这边又提到说，他游泳池里面什么都没有，这表示为什么会都没有水？可能是有 leak， 也就是有漏水的现象还有他后面讲 what's worse， 这也是一个转折词，因为还有更糟糕的。怎么说更糟糕？他这个房屋的墙壁粉碎成碎片，那所以呢，他本来以为有的利润现在更低了，最后可能变成还亏呢，要亏$8,000。好，这个例子当然相对于前面的 dog 来说就是一个失败的例子，这也就是证明了玩这种投标抢标房地产的生意不一定都是赢家。好，那我们最后这一段提到了第三个例子，他说 LA 这边在洛杉矶呢 Ed 跟 Steve 他们成功的用$87,800投标，然后赢得了第一座房地产，然后成功的进入这个凤凰城房地产的这个市场那虽然说他们的确超过预算，不过这个例子呢又是一个成功的例子因为他们发现它有一套新的空调系统，那也就是说他不需要花很多钱去修复，所以他们很满意。好，那我们来看看这边呢，提到这个 Steve， 提到 Ed， 他们这个投资 they go way over budget。 好，我们晓得Go over budget， 其实这样就表示你超过预算了。可是你如果在中间加一个 way， way good， way better。我们知道 way 它其实有的时候就表示多很多，更多了，换句话是远超过预算。好，那我们看了3个例子之后，大家有没有对这个节目很有兴趣呢？好，这就是在 TLC 频道上的 Property Wars。我们下次见咯。
That's it, guys. That's our discovery unit. We hope you learned a little bit more about buying real estate. It's really a big deal right now in the world. So I don't know if we'll get as much excitement. I don't know. When I first moved here to Taiwan, there was a lot of buying and selling of property.
I think it's still going on.
Yeah,
still pretty exciting. Pretty dramatic.
Pretty dramatic. And you can make a lot of money. Okay, guys. Thanks for joining us, and we hope you'll Tune in soon. For English Digest, I'm Stephanie.
And I'm Tom. Goodbye.
Later.